Hello, hello, Forefront family. Welcome to the very first open studio of the Web3 Creator Residency. Welcoming you, my friends, welcoming Forefront fam. Welcome to the three resident creators who are kicking off cohort one, Ali, Alex, and Entez. Forgive us, Entez is having some technical difficulties. We hope that he can join us as soon as possible. But we'd just like to start off this session by having a quick introduction of these wonderful resident creators. We have Ali. Ali has been an educator of children aged 0 to 8 for almost 2 decades, and she is a play advocate. And for her W3CR residency project, she is developing the Play Library as a DAO and a public good. And I can't wait to hear more about where Ali is going with this project and the great sessions that she's going to hold with the community. But before we hop into that, I also have to introduce Alex Purdy. Alex Purdy is a musician and producer stretching beyond her current capabilities and developing her very first album, Pre-Season Training, here with the residency, here with the Forefront family. So welcome, Ali. Welcome, Alex. So glad to have you here. So glad to have you a part of the very first W3CR. Ali, I would just love to... Oh, here's Entez. Hello, Entez. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you.
Hi everybody.
Hello,
Thank you.
hello. Let me introduce our friend Entez. Entez is a street and graffiti artist of more than 2 decades. He has exhibited internationally, and he has a really exciting residency project called Caras Latinas, where he will be taking the Forefront family to the streets and organizing a guerrilla street campaign with stencils and posters, and I can't wait to hear more about that. But first, let me just kind of kick it off to each and every single one of you and give us a little bit of paint a little picture of where you are in this project. I know, for instance, Alex, you've been working on your project, Pre-Season Training, for some time. Same thing with Entez. Entez has also been working on Caras Latinas for quite some time. You all may be in different stages of the project. We'd love to just hand it to you and let the Forefront family know, where are you with the project right now? And what are you kind of looking forward to in the week ahead? And then, of course, we'll give each of you a lot more time to kind of dive into that latter point. But Ali, why don't you go first?
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah, Play Library is pretty new, I guess, as far as its conception in Web3. So it's been something that's been on my mind for years, but I'm really excited to have the opportunity to work on this in this space. So my big goals overall for this 4-week residency are really to start taking things out of my brain and really starting to work with other people and get that back and forth. And one of the things that appeals to me about Web3 in general is the decentralization. A lot of the projects I've worked on in the past have been I've really kept them very protected. And I've really wanted to have a lot of control over all of it. And the thing that appeals to me about the residency and about Web3 in general is that this is an opportunity for me to not just get feedback, but to really interact and keep that going back and forth. So a continuous passing of the ball around, rather than just saying, okay, here's my idea. I put it out there. It didn't work. Okay, let me think of something else by myself and try it. Like, I'm looking for a more expansive view. And so that's what I'm looking forward to in Play Library. And there's a lot to do because it's really the beginning of the project. There's so much to do to think about how we tokenize things if we're really jumping right into that part of creating a DAO, creating a community like that. But also, what does it look like when you have something decentralized that also controls physical objects? And so the balance of those two things is really at the front of my mind. And I'm excited to get and I'll share a little later. I want to share some of my morning pages from this morning later on, but really getting out of the theoretical and getting into the action, because that is the place where I am just trapped. So I really feel like this residency is a great place for that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ali. Alex, my friend, why don't you tell the Forefront family where you are in pre-season training, a little bit of the background. Again, we're going to give each of you a lot more time to go into this, but just a little bit about the background, where you are and what you're planning to do for this week and the residency.
Sure. So right now, preseason training has about 8 songs that are pretty close to done. One of them I definitely want to go back and revisit, but then another song that it's called The Lights, and it's based off of the intro to the album. I've been starting to build that out into a full length song, and that's what I'll be working on during the residency. And then, in addition to that, interviewing Forefront members about how things are going, how they got started, why they're here, what they want Forefront to grow into, the challenges, and stuff like that as well.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Alex. Entez, my friend, how about you? Tell the Four family a little bit about your project, please.
Hi, everybody. First, I'm starting this project like, I don't know, 5 years ago, but in the streets, because I'm starting painting this. I'm a graffiti writer too. I'm an artist too. So in that moment, 5 years ago, I'm starting painting these faces in the street in USA, actually in New York and Miami too. So when is the weekend of art in Miami in December for Art Basel and these kind of things. So in Wingwood, I'm painting these faces. When the Web3 come to me, I'm starting thinking like, oh, it's a good idea put the Latin faces in the Web3 too. So I'm starting my process when the pandemic come. I'm stay here in Peru is completely different to America because we are locked down like 6 months, something like that. So I'm stay only with my iPad because my studio is far of my house in that moment. So I can go to that because I don't got the pass. So I'm starting drawing in the iPad. So I'm past all the street to the digital thing. So like I'm starting to jump with Procreate and Adobe Draw and different kind of application to art. So in that moment, I'm starting to do that. So this is almost the way now. I got 10 in my OpenSea, and now with you, I got 550 more, right? Something like that. So I'm starting
Amazing.
drawing last week. I got the sketches like 30 now. So I'm pretty quick. So I'm starting doing that. We are starting to do the posters, the graffitis. I did a lot of shit here. So that's
That is exciting.
my vibration with the Web3 and
Nice.
the reality thing too. So that's my thing.
Amazing. Thank you, my friend. And so it looks like you're on your mobile. If you could just maybe angle your phone down, Entez, so that we can see more of your lovely face. Because right now I'm just seeing mostly your hat and the,
Like
yeah,
this
perfect.
is working.
Maybe like, yeah, change the orientation because you're sideways now. Maybe if you could change, yep, yeah.
Is
Yep,
working.
nope. Like it is working, but you're sideways. So if you dip perfect, yeah. And you could probably get more of your face if you moved it back the camera. I don't know if you have anything to prop it up. Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
that's a lot better. That's a lot
Sorry.
better. All right. So with this, my friends, you've had a little bit of a taste of which projects the resident creators are workshopping. Now I would love to hand it off to each of them, and they'll have a little bit more time to go into specifically the next week, their vision for the residency for the next week, and what they want to do with you, my friends, the Forefront family. So with that, Allie, let me hand it right back to you again.
There we go. Sure. Thanks. So my first week, my game plan is really to look at the big picture of, to kind of start with a 5,000 foot view, 10,000 foot view of all of this. So my goal this week is really to think about the Forefront community's play memories. And this is something I've always liked to do with people that I'm workshopping about play-based learning with, is to reconnect with the kid inside of you that is really playful, that played as a kid, right? So tomorrow I'll be hosting a Twitter space where it's an open dialogue about play memories and play objects. So the stuff that you used when you were a kid, it could be, you know, something that you might have purchased from a toy store, but it also might be, a lot of people when they talk about play memories and play objects, they end up talking about just being outside and unsupervised and like digging holes and playing with sticks and, you know, not necessarily specifically a game, or, you know, it has a lot to do with more than just the objects, right? So the spaces where we played and the people that we played with, and the autonomy that we had as kids to just play. And those play memories that are strongest are usually the ones that are more open-ended. So I'm interested in collecting stories like that and really collecting the experiences of people. Some of them are universal, some of them might stick out in a really big way, but I think that could help inform the core value of Play Library, which is playfulness. And I want to keep returning to that as what goes at the center of it. I think it's really easy to it would be easy to slip out of remembering that that is really at the center of what we're doing, that we all learn from our play experiences and that we are all playful people at heart. And then at some point we stopped being so playful, which we don't have to do, but making sure that everyone in a community remembers how important it is for kids to play. You don't need to be a parent. I'm not a parent. I work with kids. I'm not a parent, but I think it's important that everyone in a community knows that it is really valuable for a kid to experience play. So I'll be doing a Twitter space tomorrow to do that. And then also on Friday, I'm hosting a open kind of a virtual play date. So we'll be on camera. I'm going to invite people to go on a scavenger hunt around their apartment, their house, wherever, gather a couple of objects, and we're going to play together on camera and have a dialogue about some of the bigger questions around play. So some of the big questions I have for this week are, what toys and experiences are stuck in the memory of the Forefront community? Where are the common threads? How can the idea of classic or universal play experiences and toys inform how we prioritize items in a toy library catalog? Because we have to get to that logistic at some point. Like, how do we pick what goes in there, what we value? How did play or lack of play when you were a kid shape the person that you are now? And how do we incorporate playful approaches in your life, in our lives now, in our day-to-day? So I'm looking at those things. So that's directly from my game plan. And I'd love to take the chance, just looking forward, I'd love to take the chance to share some thoughts I wrote down in my morning pages this morning, if this is an appropriate time for that, Caroline.
Yes,
Great.
please.
Okay, so this just kind of came out of me this morning. So I know we mentioned morning pages in one of our chats, but for anyone who's not familiar, Julia Cameron wrote a book called The Artist's Way. She wrote it in the 90s. I believe early in the 90s, and this practice of writing 3 stream of consciousness pages first thing in the morning has been a really important part of my life for the last 3 years. And you end up writing thousands of pages, just getting, I call it like a toothbrush for your brain in the morning. And so as I looked forward to this week and today, this is what I wrote. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. I've thought about posting blogs on this journey, but I'm feeling like everything is so nebulous, like a word cloud. I get anxious that if I start to organize it, I'll chain myself to one path and won't have the chance to go back. That I'll lose my memory as I glue things together. I'll forget how they might be rearranged. This is loose parts play right now. Bits and bobs that were curious materials and objects meant to be arranged and rearranged. It's process, never product. It's a land I love to exist in, but I know at some point I have to stop shuffling things around. How do I keep seeing the potential after a piece has been put into place? Or how do I find comfort with a decision and walk away from it to continue moving forward? The answer might be community. I know this has to expand beyond me, and that is scarier than the glue. It's the door I need to open. I have a hard time picturing what is behind it, and I've always been the kind of person who pictures the next 2, 3, or 4 steps. I have difficult conversations in my head, theoretical back and forths, and when I put words in the other person's mouth that challenge my path or rationality, I figure it's not worth starting the dialogue in the first place. Perhaps it's ego I need to put aside, or people pleasing. But I've learned, and am learning continuously, these lessons in other parts of my life too. The only way to the other side is straight through. The bubbles I create to protect these ideas from harm need to be popped. I can't assume disaster, harm, or attack. I feel protective. But protecting, shielding my ideas in the past has kept them small. This idea, the library, this project requires community. It is community. It doesn't exist in any other way. I can't be its mother. I can't protect it forever. It won't grow. This is where I need to constantly push out now. Playful decentralization, putting things out there, seeing what happens. I can't pre-plan the results. And seeing that feedback, that reverb through a lens of curiosity. And this is what I want from the kids and parents I work with every day. I want kids to explore the world, get feedback, and say, interesting, and follow that curious thread. I want adults to see kids at play and observe with curiosity. These words as the values: play, curiosity, and wonder. They are up there in my nebulous word cloud that I'm so scared to organize. But I need to find the people who will go on this journey with me, build with me. They exist, and I can't be afraid of this gift I'm trying to give actually being opened, explored, and tinkered with. So that's really where I'm starting from this week. That's really where, that's the place I'm coming from. And I'm really excited to have you guys force me to be out there and to do it all together. So I'm really excited. Yay.
That was so beautiful, my friend.
Hopefully I'll write more too. It makes that goal bigger for me too. Yeah.
That is so beautiful. And this is, I'm just being completely selfish right now. I would love for you to be able to share that. If you're not comfortable, I would love for folks to be able to just.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Morning pages are a private thing. When you're writing them, you write them with the intention of them just being for you. And I still, in my overthinking brain, I'm still like, one day I'm going to die and someone's going to find the 8,000 pages that I read and they're going to be like, wow, she was pretty weird. But that just felt very much like something that needs to be shared. And it reminds me to kind of include writing and journaling as part of this process as well. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Allie. And just a quick note to the Forefront family. So we are, of course, our community hub for Forefront is on Discord, but we've also started a arena community. And we've asked the resident creators, every single one of them here, including our friend Kabuki, who just joined us, who is in the second cohort. We are so lucky because he's already jumping in and playing and experimenting, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But we've asked the resident creators, my friends, to kind of post their creator journal on Arena. And what Allie just read, I personally think it's beautiful. It encapsulates the heart of the W3CR. And we're hoping that if you go to the Arena board, you're going to be able to see like these sort of snippets of the day-to-day in the life of Allie and Alex and Entez and Kabuki. And just like I was completely floored and touched by what Allie had to share. This, my friends, when she said something like, it's always the process and not the product, I saw Alex smile, beam as well. I know that we all here resonate with this. This is the heart of the W3CR. So thank you, Allie. Thank you so much for sharing that. With this, I pass the baton on to my friend Alex. Alex, tell the Forefront family, dig in a little bit more about your first week with preseason training.
Yes. So first I have to say, Allie, the fact that your morning pages sound so eloquent is amazing.
They're not like that every day, Alex.
There was no I have to do laundry or my nose itches, It's so great. So my first week on Wednesday, I will be leading a call on Riverside to talk about my music process. Caroline was graciously challenging me to, because originally my proposal was it's just going to be interviews of the community and I'm going to be squirreled away tinkering at these sounds, and that is not the case anymore. So on Wednesday, I'll be talking about my creative process for music and how it relates to how I used to train for basketball, which is about everything this album is about. And then I'm working on the tech for the following week, doing a live on Twitch where I'm actually in the session, because I used to have a Twitch setup. I just have to borrow some stuff from Jack, because he's got the stuff I used to use. And And then on Thursday, I'll be interviewing Noelle and Caroline at 2 different times, diving into their experience with the community, everything it means to them, how they incorporate rest in Web3 and outside of Web3. And yeah, that's what I've got planned. And we'll be also producing the song outside of the event on Wednesday. The event about music on Wednesday is just talking about the process while I'm spending time offline getting my setup ready for the next week to really share where the song's at and all of that.
Amazing. Alex, can you say a little bit more for folks that may be tuning in for the first time and don't have all the context, which is difficult to get when we're living on Discord? Tell us a little bit more about the community aspect of what you're doing with the residency. The pre-season training, you already said you're producing, you're working on these songs. What is it about the community aspect that you're trying to explore during the residency?
Sure. So I really want to explore the human part that glues us all together. Like there's, so many channels to go through, things to catch up on, cool projects to work on, but what is it about this community that makes people keep coming back? And I'm also trying to figure out offline a good way to set up an anonymous survey so that people can really share, this really hurt my feelings, or this could really grow in a different way, and there's not the pressure of being name dropped or whatever. So I was also putting in one of the chats asking if anybody knew about an anonymous survey, but we'll be working on that offline as well. So the emphasis on what's wonderful about it and to share that publicly so that people who don't know about Forefront can join, and then also so that the Forefront community can grow roots deeper together.
Amazing. Lovely. Thank you, Alex. So now I'm happy to pass it on to my friend Entez. Entez, tell the Forefront family a little bit about what you have in store for them this coming week.
So, Nate, you can help me with the video, please, first. Is Nate around?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Nate is around. Nate's going to put up the video. Excellent.
Hi, Forefront community. Welcome to my studio. This part of my studio is like my gallery, the secret for my production. We got some posters. This is brand news from this year. Here is the room of the creation. Started. Looks like this. My weapon, my sacred weapon. I work here every day for the sketches and illustration. Thank you for all, and we wait for you this Wednesday. So, this Wednesday, hi, thank you very much. So this Wednesday, I'm started with Open Studio. With that, I can explain about what happened with the pieces, because I got particular different. I did like a solution to peel the wall off. So I got different kind of tricks. I can explain about what happened with the pieces, what happened with the idea of these pieces in particular, and show what's going on here in this mess, because I got many projects on the way, but I take a break for Forefront. So with that, I'm starting to produce like the collection. So this Wednesday we're talking about this part, and Friday we're starting with the faces, with the collection straight, and we do the challenge for choose one person to draw in for the community for Forefront, for starting paint these pieces, going a little bit deeper with the community. Take one person to put it in the collection this Friday, and this whole project try to means talking about what happened with the Latinos in the Web3, what's going on with this part of people don't speak English. What is the community? What is the Latinos here? So I try to involve this part with the faces. So I'm pretty focused. Like all my travels for around in Latin America, I remember persons and try to put like not only the face, like a little history of about this person. So or is part of my family. It's more deeper because it's more sentimental things, but it's my vision about what happened with the art. For me, it's like the art is not only a aesthetic thing. The art is a part of the revolution, actually. So this is my revolution. Try to be like the new invention of this. In Spanish is marrones, like brown people, something like that, like brown power. So we're talking about this, and starting with this huge project is the name is Caras Latinas.
Amazing. Thank you, Intes. Thank you, my friend. So with that, we are only 30 minutes in, and I wanted to keep you all for at least the hour. And our friend Kabuki has joined us, and we'll circle back to Kabuki and the reason why he's joined us on the call. We can even bring on Nico if Nico's still in the chat. I wanted to ask y'all something. Ali has set the mood so beautifully, reading the morning pages and being vulnerable, and I think it just touched us here in this digital room. I wanted to talk a little bit about the. It's hard to avoid what's happening in the markets. It's hard to avoid. It's just complete disaster and chaos in the markets. I wanted to see, how is that affecting you? Is it affecting you? This is kind of a question of vulnerability. Have you been experiencing doubts or questions about this space, or is it something like you just head down, not thinking about the markets? I mean, I think it was last week that Jack Dorsey came out. He's like, we're building Web 5. So skipped right over and said, to hell with Web 3, I'm building Web 5. Are there any sort of like questions or doubts or struggles that you're having at this time that are related to what's happening economically, what's happening in the markets now? And any of you can jump in and share if there is something that's popping up for you now that's alive for you.
I can kind of chat a little bit to that, I guess. As someone who's relatively new to Web3, I kind of learned about it in November of last year and did a Kernel fellowship, which was really valuable to me. And if anyone wants to know more about Kernel, I'm happy to chat with them separately about that experience. But I kind of entered Web3 circumventing like the idea of like trying to use it as economic gain. So my interest in it really came from the idea of decentralized organizing. And so with what's happened in the past, however long the markets have been changing or whatever, like that really hasn't affected me. I've noticed that I have less, the value of my ETH is lower, but in general, I think I see it as another difficult story of living on kind of a difficult planet and a difficult time, right? There's a lot going on in the world, and this is another one of those pieces. And I haven't felt discouraged from trying to use blockchain tools to build something. So I know it's not a deep answer, but for me, I've seen it. You see the conversations everywhere. It makes me worry a little bit about building community when people if they haven't entered the Web3 community yet, and I'm going to say, come help me. And they're going to say, that stuff's not working, but they haven't tried to jump in and do something. And I think that's that process piece, right? And all of us here now, like I can see you guys nodding, like we know this is about the process. And I don't think we have to be discouraged by a very public example of a tool failing at something or not working well right now. The world is an up and down place. So I don't feel discouraged. That's my short answer.
Thank you, Ali.
Sure.
Thank you for that perspective.
I think it's the same for me. Like, I don't stay only in the Web3 for the money. For sure, uh, um, I think in money, but I got my other job, working pretty good on the gallery stuff and this kind of the regular art here, and in the globe too. But I think Web3 is like another media for me, like give me another kind of opportunities. Actually, it's like it's fucking hard try to be a original artist in the real world because almost is embedded. So to choose that play is like pretty strong. But in the Web3 is not, it's like all new. So you can say, hey, I did first. This is my work. So you got the opportunity to be completely different and use another method like technology, mix it with art. That shit is crazy as fuck. So I love it. I love it. I'm pretty involved with that kind of experience in Web3. Not only like waiting for money or give me back that, but I don't care. For me, it's like this thing happened like bunch of times with the market. So no is the first one. I remember when it's zero. So now it's good. You got money, baby. That's the thing. I learned about Bitcoin in 2013, so I know very well what happened now. So I don't care. If the opportunity is go down, we can invent a new things. It's the opportunity to do crazy stuff. Uh, the most crazy thing, because now we can build a community for our work. So that's the deal.
Beautiful, my friend. Thank you, Entes.
Exactly. I feel so similar for both, like both of my jobs are that I'm pausing to do this are not related to Web3, but what's so fun about Web3 are the people and meeting friends that might be friends for life. Like we've been friends for people I've been friends with for a year. We still haven't met in person, but every time we catch up on Zoom, it's so life-giving, and they'll send me new songs I haven't heard. And so I've been trying to frame my mind as far as the bonds are most important, and to basically have there's the jobs, there's the artistic expression, and the community and friends, and how those, like, the different Venn diagrams, the Ikigai, like we talked about a while ago, there can be so many ways for that to unfold. So I feel like right now it may seem like things are really bad, but maybe it's opening up for something better and unexpected to come through.
Yeah, maybe just to add to this, I hope my microphone is working now. Great. I got this super high-tech setup here with a couple of boxes to bring my phone up to eye level. Yeah, but anyway, just really, really cool to tune into the first session. And it's also nice to hear that Ellie is doing the morning pages. I was also doing the Artist Way like 10 years ago or so. I think it's a really good tool to realize what you really want to do. But just to kind of get back to the question about the market sentiment, I feel like everything we're doing as artists is primarily not motivated by like a financial, how can I say, by a financial outcome, but because we want to reach out and we want to connect with other fellow artists or other human beings, and we want to, we have assumptions and we want to see if they pan out, if we're able to kind of build something that's not there yet. So for me also, like, as an artist, you live with rejection your whole life, and you always have to accept that stuff goes wrong and you don't know how to pay the bills and so on. So for me, this is like totally normal. I don't know why everybody's freaking out about this. So in that sense, I feel like maybe the issue is it's going to be more complicated to win people over, to kind of explaining about the underlying technology for these collaborations. But again, that's also just a tool. I think if somebody doesn't have that kind of fantasy to understand, like, okay, you can use it to transfer money, but you can also use it to, collaborate and have like a joint artistic expression. And obviously, they're lacking in their creative vision. So for me, it's very interesting to see how. Obviously, it's also sad for people who put all their life savings into this and it just vaporizes. But this is it's just basic humans' emotions that you see at play there. The greed and the fear, and if you look at the stock market, it's not any different to what's happening in the cryptocurrency world. But I guess people don't see that the similarity so easy. It's more like because cryptocurrency has been so heavily promoted as a quick get rich scheme. So now obviously everybody who sees this fall apart also sees their confirmation bias approved. So I'm super positive and really looking forward what the next weeks and months and years will bring.
Amazing. Thank you, my friend Kabuki. We are welcoming Nico also to the video chat. It's getting nice and cozy here. Nico is also in the second cohort of the W3CR with her colleague Kabuki. And now I think would be a good time to kind of pivot to why Kabuki and Nico are on the call. So we at Forefront and also the Web3 Creator Residency, we have kind of been searching our hearts for ways to really embody the ethos of the W3CR. And we always intended to release some sort of NFT that was associated with the project. And I would say that if there has been a way that the market downturn has kind of been impacting my sort of ideation as a creator, just as someone who's stewarding this program, I've just been questioning, like, is this the right time to do this? Should I move it back? Because exactly of what Ali and so many of you have beautifully articulated. But despite that, me in love with all of you, the resident creators, I would love nothing more than the whole world to see what you're doing. So a part of me is bummed out at the sort of loss of momentum because it's been quiet. It's been super quiet everywhere. And so I feel a little bummed out because I want to show you off to the entire world. And along what I was saying a couple of moments ago of like, when is the right time to actually release this NFT, we decided that we wanted to kind of push it out as soon as possible. But we wanted to do something special with it. We wanted to kind of embody this ethos of community and collective creation by giving ownership of the first Genesis W3CR NFT to the community. So to the creators, all of the finalists, all of the community members who voted, friends of the Forefront community who retweeted or shared the launch tweet. So we're spreading out the ownership of this W3CR Genesis NFT. And we want a portion, half of those funds, to go to what will be essentially a community grants fund, where we will be able to, our hope, every single month to have a small pool of funds where the community will vote on where those funds will go to. So it's going to be another part of the ecosystem. The residency, the W3CR, is the heart of it, but there's going to be another community fund where we have communities that are actually voting for where these small micro seed grants will come from. So that's where we hope a portion of the Genesis W3CR NFT funds will go to. So I kind of threw a challenge out to some of the residents who were able to gather with me last week, and I asked them, are you keen to participate? It's completely optional, but we thought how wonderful it would be if the residents in some way had something to offer, an NFT holder benefit, a gift, special access, something. And this is where Kabuki and Ali and Alex and Entes come into the picture, and this is why Nico is here as well. So I would like to we have about 20 minutes left. I would just love to kind of facilitate a conversation about what y'all are thinking about that. And I know, Kabuki, you've been ideating, you've been getting folks super excited in the Discord channel. So feel free to kick things off, my friend, what you're thinking.
Sure. So, I mean, the basic sentiment was, first of all, to figure out what's the direction we should take there. Just pulling this up here. So there were three options. One, giving away previously released artwork, so like a NFT gift bag. Then the second option would be we create an exclusive artwork based on the motto of this creator residency. And the third, we create a variation of the project we are developing. And I think everybody was in agreement that number two would be the ideal direction. And the motto is light for the new way home, right? This is what what this residency is
Yes.
kind of, what's the theme of the residency is. So I think, for me, the idea kind of that would be most attractive is obviously we're all kind of, the first cohort is very focused now on also building their projects, but maybe we could all find the time to huddle together and figure out like what could each of us contribute to this project. And I was kind of thinking, everybody has some kind of talent that we could throw into the pool. It could be storyboarding, could be artwork, could be music and sound design. So I just thought it would be so cool if we would find like a strong concept or two, and then find ways to illustrate this and create a soundtrack for it, but maybe not have it as one static NFT, but we have these different layers, and we could kind of create variations without necessarily each of us having to do, individual kind of contributions for each of the NFTs, but by combining the artwork and maybe concept or overlays and the music, we could create different variations, and it would be cool to have all these different kind of combinations of artists, that we would then have these very kind of unique one-of-one artworks that don't require each of us to work one-on-one for 5 NFTs, so to speak. But if we have enough material, just by combining these layers, we could create something very unique and something very limited. So that was kind of the idea that I was kind of thinking about over the weekend. So just throwing this out here, and curious to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, I had a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Entes. Okay, thank you. Is this I know we're not supposed to say much about that other conversation. Is this different from that? I just want to be careful. I know we're alive.
Let's not talk too much about
No
the other
problem. You go.
conversation. So Kabuki, this is just for the Genesis W3CR NFT, right? Yeah. So
Okay.
it's just for that.
Separate. Great. Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, so I think the idea is dope. I can draw in something and animate that, and maybe you can do a featuring with Alex, and we can
Yeah, I'm
find
excited
a
too.
way to involve the other members of the
and
community
what do
now,
you not
or the
do?
participants, and we
Oh,
can do
That'd be great.
something
Yeah,
pretty
I could
crazy.
provide some
And
stems
I love
from
the
the
idea,
song
so
that I'm
I'm
working
excited.
on
Come
so
with
that
me.
it could kind of become a different song, and maybe Entes could rap
I'm a
over it,
rapper
and
too. I'm a
Kabuki could
rapper too.
change
So
stuff, cut it
if
up
you
so
need me,
it's
I got some
unrecognizable
bars,
or something.
but
You
in
know,
Spanish.
that just some initial ideas.
loving it.
Yeah, maybe we can get together. I've been like really addicted to Figma. So like every project that I do, I just like put a ton of like research and like mood board on Figma. Maybe we can and then it's also a really great way to collaborate because we can all like use it at the same time. Maybe we can just like put a collective Figma and then put like what inspires us, whether it's music, article writing, and then just like get a mood board going, like multimedia mood board, and then see where we go from there.
That is an excellent next step. And you, Forefront family, you are going to be coming along with everyone's journey, Ali, Alex, and Entes. But now we have another project that we're layering on top of this build in public. And this will be the resident creators, other finalists, other Forefront fan members who will be jumping in to help out with this collaborative NFT project. So I'm loving the way this is shaping up. Yes, Alex, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, go.
Do you think it would be possible as part of these Monday Open Studios to have the check-ins about this project
Yes.
in this call? Because that would just be helpful to not be adding too many more. Because like I'm trying to be able to attend all of Ali's events, all of Entes events, plan the events, really make them meaningful. So just trying
it's
to
hard. I know.
manage.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's we should combine it here, and it looks like all of you were able to kind of get through your updates to the fan for the Open Studio in like 30 minutes. So we can totally add on another 15 or 20, and we can. I think the next one we could totally show this Figma board, Nico's Figma board, and see what the fam has added to it. and we can put that link up on the Discord as well and invite the Forefront family to throw in some ideas. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful next step. Thank you.
Maybe just adding one idea to this to make it kind of as smooth as possible and to have a clear structure. I also like this concept to start with a mood board and to start with a concept to somehow, conceptualize the theme, so that, for instance, maybe Ali and Nikki, they could get together and kind of build this out for the visual artists and the sound artists to build on top of this. So this way, I think it would be really a true collaboration between all of us, and each could have like a specific area to focus on, and it's like a clear chain of command. I think this will have the least impact on the kind of working schedule for the first cohort.
I love it. I love it. And with this, my friends, I think it would be a good time, now that Kabuki has talked about a theme. So Light for the New Way Home, W3CR theme. I should have opened with this, but now I'm going to close. We are going to close with Jack in the Way and Handsome Grandson, otherwise known as Max, their official W3CR theme song. We're just going to play it. And I hope that you, Kabuki, and the rest of the resident creators can really get your inspiration from this, because I feel like Jack's lyrics were just so spot on in terms of what we're trying to do here. So let's play this. I'm going to try to play this live so it's captured to our video, and let's jam with this. Hopefully y'all can hear this. Here we go. You may want to turn your headphone volume down a little bit until we know how loud this is going to be.
I was up till 4 again, loving every minute, man, staring at the ceiling.
Pardon me, that is not it. Here we go.
Straight out the gate, we reimagine a space, spreading opportunity, learning to play a game. You open first and offer next and trust. Arms are wide and we sweep away the dust. It's a paradigm shift for the artists here. Residency, a new world, now it appears. You can build in public, we embrace the roughness. You can share your work in any way you want it. Find compensation for the care you bring. If you would open up to your behind the scenes, we'll explore the source together. I can see it's the perfect spot to realize a dream. We will craft a metaverse that works for all of us, and we'll stand at the forefront, hand on the pulse. I'm here with the word that the birth is upon us. It's a light for the new way home.
Oh, I love it. I just can't get enough of that song. So thank you, my friends. Thank you, Ali, Alex, Kabuki, Nico, and Entez. Thank you for joining us for the very first Open Studio, kicking off Cohort 1. Can't wait to check in with all of your workshops and sessions this week, and can't wait to see you next week, same time. Bye-bye, friends. Take good care.